So your dreams are your creations. They're not something that happened to you. They are something that are created by you. As Esther dreams about her father who made his transition, she wondered, am I actually talking to the consciousness that is now my father? Or am I recreating a new experience based upon my desire? And we say, you cannot recreate an experience relative to your father without summoning the energy that is your father into the creation. You see? So what's happening in the dream state, what you think and what you feel and what manifests are always a vibrational match. What you think and feel and what you dream is always a vibrational match. In other words, your dream is a manifestation too. So the dream is valuable as you recognize how you felt within it, because then you know what you're doing with your vibration and what your point of attraction really is. What's happening? Anytime you sleep, you withdraw your consciousness just like when you croak. It's not different, except that it's easier to come back after you've slumbered. In other words, the in and out's a little more awkward if you got to wait for another body, so to speak. But when you slumber, you withdraw your consciousness, and you still are you having experiences. And when you awaken, those experiences are then, in that moment, translated by you at an unconscious level into your dream state equivalent. The most significant thing that we want to give to you is that you are all extensions of source energy, and you all have access to communication as Esther has access to the communication of Abraham. And there is no separation between your friends who are physically focused and those who have withdrawn their attention back into the non-physical. In other words, this is a vibrational universe, and there are no vibrational barriers. There is no separation in any of that. In your physical environment, you interpret vibration so that you have this platform that you all agree upon, which just enhances your ability to create. But the greater vibrational platform never goes away. In other words, you never withdraw consciousness from existence. You may change your focus, just like at the end of this gathering, you may walk out of the room and give your attentions to the garden rather than to this room, but it will still be you giving your attention there. So the thing that we most want to help you to focus upon is that the most normal thing in the world is for you to feel your connection to that which is your source and to commune with that which you understand to be non-physical. That is what is normal. And to separate yourself from it is what is abnormal. But as human friends have separated themselves from their emotions and not known what their emotions mean, so they don't move toward the thoughts that produce the emotions that feel the best, which would take them right into alignment and all kinds of communication. That's why little children often communicate with what is non-physical until adults worry about them and convince them that it is their imagination. What in the world is imagination anyway? Imagination is focusing, achieving a vibration, and law of attraction will bring that then into reality, you see. So we want to say to you that if you will stop saying that what I am doing is a strange thing, or what I'm feeling or sensing is a strange thing, and begin saying, I'm happy that I'm relaxing back into what is really normal. I'm happy that I'm relaxing into what is really normal. It is very common for a child whose mother becomes pregnant to know who's coming, to be fully aware of who's coming. In other words, they're talking to each other all the time. It is a very common thing for a little one to say, when will Jacob be here? How long before Jacob is coming? Or how long before Susan is coming? In other words, often they they are having clear communication, and they are not making it up. They are having often, especially with children, one of their siblings will make an early transition into non-physical, and often they are seen still playing with each other in the toy chest. In other words, because there is no separation in any of that. And so we are wanting you to relax more and to accept the oneness that we all are. And as you do that, these things that are so natural will begin to happen. You see, you can't say, I want this thing that is not likely, and make it easy. Or you can't say, I'm doing this thing that is totally abnormal, and make it easy. But when you say, it is the most natural thing in the world for me to be in absolute concert with the energy of my source and receive continual guidance and appreciation, and even use the word support if you mean it in the way we do. In other words, you are the furthermost extension of pure positive energy with resources that flow to you beyond physical description. And yet most of you barely dabble in it. Most of you, and we think it may be because somewhere along the path you've been convinced that you got to go it alone and prove your worthiness. In other words, you're here to prove something and you better get it right. And these are the rigid rules through which you better get it right. And those kinds of things do tend to separate you from who you are. But once you reach the point that you've reached, where you are consciously acknowledging your connection and have so much evidence of it in every day, then just go with that, play with that. Just a few short years ago, this all felt so weird. And now it feels weird that people don't understand it. In other words, how odd that someone doesn't know that they are an extension of source energy, and how odd that they don't know that they have access to infinite intelligence that will guide them relative to any subject. How odd that people don't know their value and that they don't feel eager and excited about their life experience. How odd it is that people think that they could do things that would make them so unworthy that they're now not deserving of the blessings that were promised as they came forth. How odd that anyone would see themselves as a separate entity and not understand that they are extensions of this powerful source and that this source is adoring of them. That all is just so odd, you see. It's not weird to be connected to source energy. Everyone is. It's just unfortunate that everyone doesn't know that they are. Energy is coming to you cellularly and moving outward. In other words, it's not outside coming in. It's beginning inside and radiating out. Your most usual physical acknowledgement of it is through those goosebumps that ripple when you are focused upon something that is in absolute alignment with what your inner being knows to be. In other words, those confirming ripples that move through you. That's what that's all about. But you are electronic beings, and you have trillions of energy points within your body that are all transmitting and receiving, not only among one another, but back and forth from source. So, 3 steps to creation. You ask. You can't help that. You don't even have to work hard at that. Life experience helps you to offer preferences constantly. And every day you offer thousands upon thousands of personal preferences. Some of them repeats of what you've wanted before, many of them new. And Source, who does step 2, hears every one of them and sets circumstances and events, all manner of things into motion in order to satisfy the desire that you are offering. And then your work is step 3, the art of allowing. Getting into the receiving mode. Getting into the place where you are vibrationally in alignment with what you want. So today, as we're moving forward, we'll talk about the emotions that help you know whether you're in alignment or whether you're not. And it will become increasingly apparent to you. It is so obvious to us, we want it to be equally obvious to you, that when you are feeling any negative emotion, it means that you are not as much in alignment as you could be. You're hindering yourself in some way. There is such a tendency as physical beings, bless your little pointed heads, to be so aware of what is that it permeates your vibration, so that what is mostly what you are offering vibration about. So Source, who always answers the vibration that you are offering, just keeps giving you more of the same. People will say, Abraham, I'm stuck. And we say, not possible. They say, oh, but it is. I am stuck. I have wanted this for as long as I can remember, and I have not budged at all. I'm stuck. And we say, you cannot be stuck. You're just creating the same thing over and over and over again. Here's another way of saying it. We like this the best. It's constantly changing. Things are constantly changing. Constantly changing. It's just changing to the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So if you want it to change to something different, you have to find another object of attention. You have to find another subject of thought that induces another feeling emotion. So don't make it complicated. Just say, I'm going to make the best of this. I'm going to make the best of this. Because if you're making the best of it, you're always headed in the right direction. When you make the worst of it, you're headed in the opposite direction. When you tell it like it is, you might be focused upon something that you want to continue to recreate. And if so, that is wonderful. Praise and appreciation are the best tools we know to create a wonderful life experience. But if you are telling it like it is, as so many of our physical friends do, because you're trying to justify where you stand. I want to feel good, but this has happened and this has happened and this has happened. And we think you are so innately aware that you are supposed to feel good that you almost without exception feel a need to explain why you don't feel good. But the thing that is so tricky about that is as long as you are explaining why you don't feel good, you're holding yourself in that vibrational pattern where you can't feel good. So we know you've heard it from many. You have to do something different if you're going to change your vibration. And the only way that an improvement will be known is if it gives you a feeling of relief. Now, relief is really a big factor in all of this because the feeling of relief is the feeling of releasing resistance. The feeling of relief is the feeling of more allowance. You are powerful beings who know you are free. You are so free you can choose bondage. You are so free. You are so free that your every thought sets energetic forces in motion to coalesce around you. You are the creator of your experience and no one else is. Utter, absolute, total freedom, no matter what circumstances you think or are standing in. There is more connection with Source always to be found. It is an infinite supply. Occasionally something will happen that will take you into a more resistant vibration, but usually your own life experience will bring you out of that. That's why people say time will help this situation, because in time, just the things of your own environment that cause you to focus will cause you to begin to offer different vibrations and dilute the vibration.